This the link up. This the link up. This the link up. Welcome to the link up. This the link up. This the link up. This the link up. Welcome to the link up. Oh. Yes, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Link Up Podcast. You know, the podcast that y'all might have forgotten about, but we still here. It was a while, but we still here. We're back on episode 89 after Season 2. Quite a break, and you know, let me continue with the introduction and all of that. We got a full house here. It's been a while since we had the full team back together, but for this episode, after we took about what it was, like a month off or something like that, the full squad is back here. We got Rashid in the building, Woods, Kalissa, and Kana all here today.
But yeah, I think for me it's been longer than a month.
Yeah.
It's like borderline 2 months.
Kind of been missing in action a little bit.
Look, I had school stuff to do. I apologize to maybe like 3 fans.
At least 5.
We reached 5.
Maybe 5, man. Maybe. Well, we'll go 6 just in case. But yeah,
we're back now, and I think the first thing to start off is just give a little bit of an explanation as to why we were gone in the first place. But what basically happened is we had some unforeseen technical difficulties that kind of surprised us. Like, we was planning on giving y'all an episode on one day, and I think probably what went wrong that day was also the heat and all of that, because that day was like real hot as well. Like Kalissa had just mentioned before we started recording, y'all was in for a treat, but then, you know, it just, like,
it didn't work out there, bro.
Somebody up there, they didn't want it to happen. They didn't want y'all to see what I was recording. Like, they wanted to keep you reserved, you know? Yeah, basically.
That was like the world ain't ready for the hot girl summer.
And I think the heat really played a role. I think that just why had the computer was too hot, overheating, shit like that stuff wasn't running properly. So we ended up losing that entire episode, and then basically decided to take a little break to kind of reevaluate, make little changes on how things was being done, so that we could avoid any of those type of things happening again. So some new equipment was purchased and some different things to the computer, and just how we recording things was done. I don't want to get into it because, like, y'all don't really care. Y'all just want the podcast. So, I mean,
we here. That's important.
We back.
Yeah.
Hey, you see the curtain?
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to point that out. I go to make sure point out because the amount of shit we've been getting about the background and stuff like that. Watch the blood clot curtain now.
Yes. We trying to make some upgrades, be a little more professional and things.
Curtain
so that
looking nice, man.
While we back, is not just like we was gone for no reason. We did some things as well, you know.
I mean, I just got a question about the color, like.
I mean, go around with the color.
What's your problem?
Just white out color. I just got the white out color.
It was supposed to be more red. Like, it was supposed to be more red-ish than it is.
Okay, but, I mean, so it wasn't on purpose then.
I was going for dark red, a reddish type of thing, because I like the color red, and yeah, it kind of goes with the logo, the KMG logo and stuff like that. There's the red crown and all of that. You know, it's kind of the KMG colors. So yeah.
So black with
so if you not pressed about the curtain, why you wasn't
purchasing? Because the colors I was weighing between was like a dark gray, black, or something, and I figured just black with lighting and stuff like that.
Okay.
Black would make the room definitely way too dark and stuff. So
I didn't know this.
Let me go with the red. That's like another color, like still kind of on the darker side of things, but it's not going to do what black would do to the room.
And the light bounce off of it a little bit.
A little bit.
Okay.
Not a lot, but
makes sense.
And yeah, so that's basically the explanation on the color choice. But for those people that was complaining about the background, no, there's nothing to look at. No, you have a nice little curtain.
And for y'all, for
you
those
see more brooms and whatever else you complain about in the background.
And for the ones that are going to start complaining about the curtains, fuck y'all.
Yeah, because. Yeah.
It
ain't going nowhere. Like this is.
I feel like
this is what it
are
is.
you gonna move the curtain forward a little bit? I feel like that's gonna be it.
Well, can't please everybody.
Yeah, that's basically my stance on this. Like,
when they want to come and fix it up and do it themselves and give King permission to do all that, they can come.
If y'all want to buy the curtain, because that was another thing when I got the color. It was like, oh well, I spent money on this. This is what I got. It's not as red as I thought. It's either that or we go through the process of returning it and then buying a new one, waiting for that one. And
I feel that one,
it is what it is. I never returned a product in my life.
I have. I don't.
I just really watch my purchase.
No, I think like pants or something like that. But I don't think I actually do it.
Pants?
No, I think my mother had to do it.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So I don't know if that technically
like
counts.
usually I just feel it's not worth the effort that it takes to go back to the store, or if it's an online purchase, even worse. Like,
if I'm buying something online, I better be sure.
yeah.
I mean, when it's like online, like certain stores, like they have it very simple that you just say you want to return it. They send you a sack or a bag or whatever. You put whatever it is in there. You close it up. You throw it in. Like, okay, in our case, it's quite easy because you just have to throw it in the mailbox and then they just come and pick it up.
But I still find a lot of hassles.
I mean, I feel like that ain't that bad. But like, well, in my case, I have to order from like the US or like those Asian websites. You know why? Because like Holland don't be having my size. In all honesty, like even my lab
Use
coat
Asian
for
people's
school.
size.
Buy things wrong.
Yo, yeah.
My lab coat for school is extra small, and I still swimming in it.
Bruh.
Yeah.
I think me, King, and Kana have it good.
But yeah,
because we like the average height. This is like our height is like the average like Dutch height for men.
But you see,
you want 82, 83?
No, where height is concerned, yeah, but where style is concerned,
that's
you more think than me. I kind of still suck in the 2000s. But
I mean, they're coming back though. Like you see the trend like right now.
Still wear Sean Johns.
They still make those.
Right.
Man, like
he just didn't have them.
Yo, I still got G units. Okay? What are you talking about? I still got fat jeans somewhere in my
jeans. Are you laughing? But he might get up in the jeans, might say Sean Johns. I think the Sean Johns darker than that.
I think these like a Levi's or something. These actually smaller than what I'm accustomed to. But my apparel was not supposed to be the first topic of this fucking episode.
Very true. Yeah, this is the Link Up Podcast. We are known for tangents.
Yeah, I mean that's a regular to be expected part of the Link Up at this point. But I think we could start off with something that a few of y'all, well at least I know one of y'all, because who all went to this Notting Hill thing? Only you, Kana?
Only me. From my understanding, only me.
Bye.
The Link Up Podcast boring, guys. My entire timeline, I felt went to this thing. Like everybody on my IG, I was just scrolling on seeing stories on the regular of everybody at everything from this Notting Hill thing.
But I just looked at this man's story and I just texted, that looks like a lot.
I tired, so I'm not gonna be able to fully describe exactly how it was. But if anybody get a chance to go. It's a hell of an experience. You see, the thing is, I can't say a lot of stories or implicating some people.
I understand too much what listeners was going on. What happened over there, stays over there, that kind of vibe.
Yo, if all you take the videos I had on my IG was bad, or you don't want to see the shit that I can't post.
Okay. I mean, I feel like things like that is to be expected when you consider the nature of such an event.
Yeah. It was like 4 million people on the road, something like that?
Yo, at one point, I turned around because, but you'd be going up hills, like not like big hills, but like little hills and stuff like that on the parade. At one point, I turned around, I was like, what? The whole of Samantha was behind one truck. The one truck.
How much trucks are you at to?
God knows, I can't tell you.
I mean, 4 million people on the road. I can't even fathom what that looks like.
I can't, it was madness.
All the people in Europe with Caribbean lineage and stuff, and even those, I assume probably some outside of Europe and thing might have made the trip.
See more, I don't know, see that's a good and a bad thing.
A lot of Caribbean people that come from London itself too.
You couldn't tell who was really from where unless you really hear the accents and you really pay attention to people, but then you hear so many things all over the place, like I would say the only one thing I would say, if you go in Notting Hill, don't go in if you're in a relationship. It don't make sense. Like really and truly, it don't make sense, because you won't know where the walk up will come from, and then people like feelings gonna get hurt. This one get jealous. It's not worth it.
Yo, like I saw a video.
Unless you gonna stand up on the side. If you gonna stand up on the side and not partake, cool, no problem.
So you saw some relationships get a little heated and some tensions brew and stuff during the trip.
Yes.
By yes and no, because
say as much as you can say without
I see stuff that had went on, but it was, number one, it wasn't none of my people, and two, it wasn't none of my business. So I had see and I went about my business.
See and don't see, as this.
But I see a lot of cussings, woman fighting for man fighting for woman. This is it. I don't know if it's relationship wise or what, but from what I see partake over that weekend, It don't. To me personally, it don't make sense unless unless both are comfortable enough. Yeah. To walk up with like other people, or you make a thing that are you only dancing with each other, or you can just stand up on the side and just look. It don't make sense. Why? Feelings gonna get hurt, and it gonna be unnecessary drama.
Like I saw on Facebook a partner of mine. I ain't gonna mention who it was, but I think you know who I'm talking about.
I don't know nothing.
He posts on Facebook, so he implicates himself.
I know.
So this man, there was this big old lady standing in front of him. I think he was gone. Look at his face, he was gone. Then he walk up behind it. Then he just, like, I think, like 2 seconds into the walk up, he was like, wait, why do it? And he turned around, looked at the camera, and his face just like.
Yo, speaking about that, I saw a video yesterday. Somebody went. Some fellow went walk up behind somebody thinking it was a chick. Yeah.
I think I saw the same thing.
Dude had like a shirt wrapped around his head and man was going in.
Yo.
And then the guy turned around and watched the other part and the partner went.
Yo.
Yeah.
That'll happen when your mom be taking away from every and everything.
When you're not observant.
No, but yo.
Do your proper, like,
the amount of woman that was on the road, it didn't make sense. Yo, don't get me wrong, no. I haven't experienced too many carnivals yet. But this is my second time going Notting Hill. And god damn, if I could make it every year, I go in from now.
Next year gonna be rough, though.
How?
England ain't gonna be part of Europe, so they're going to have to get green cards and all that shit.
Oh, that's okay. That ain't gonna stop me.
The post-Brexit Notting Hill. That's something to think about for real.
Yeah.
That's now that you bring that up, I ain't think about that for real.
Like,
but still, that's okay.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, my heart was hurting that I ain't gone.
Yo.
I had to save up money. I was right. But then when I see the days my mother will come in, I was like, fuck.
Yo, man's on bus stop, man on bread, man on the fucking white chocolate was on that the fucking.
I saw that clip.
Yo,
it's my goal in life to get a walk up from white chocolate.
Why?
My goal in life. Because I want it.
A lot of the big soca dancers was there, Judd. And the thing is, you'd have passed them straight and not even know.
Who's white chocolate?
But this partner from
St. Lucia, right?
Yeah, St. Lucia. But
that's an ex-Fed. St. Lucia?
If you see the video,
what?
You gonna understand why she moving on. I particularly can't. Yeah.
I feel you.
He got a waistline for days.
For a white boy.
Years. No man, he got a waistline, period.
For a white boy.
So
you're telling me you've never seen a dude that could dance as good? It's only a something because he's white, because you don't expect him to be able to move like that.
A lot of black fellas can't move like that either.
Yeah,
I ain't even go
it's not just
so
that, but a lot of fellas.
The entire Caribbean, you've never seen a black man that could dance and have
it is.
That's the only point that I'm making.
It is extra
only
because
an anomaly because you don't expect it.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not saying he can't dance.
against
but also, I feel like Caribbean fellas don't really be posting themselves walking up neither. They don't really be showing the waistline.
Because he looked super feminine doing what he was doing.
But that's okay.
But anyway, they had a good bit of the soca. The dancers you see on like Follow Soca and them big soca pages there. But again, there are so many people on the road, you probably wouldn't have noticed them, Chad. I myself was upset that I had seen enough of the girls I was following, and I was like, bye. If I had any chance to take a walk up, it would have been now. And I just miss it.
When next year?
Too much people.
Hey, next year. And hopefully next year I'm going to check the other ones in Europe, because I want to check Germany one.
Belgium has one too, apparently.
I want to check the one in Ibiza. I think Ibiza?
Ibiza's one?
Yeah, Ibiza. But Ibiza one is like...
Dude, that shit expensive.
It's like
that was
April,
what Ramo
right?
was talking about, though.
End of April.
That was what Ramo was here for?
It was, it's Ibiza one, right?
That one expensive though. I mean, Ibiza is expensive.
So, but it like...
I would like to check that one. Well, maybe if without setting my goal and money, only Germany and Notting Hill next year. I heard the one from Berlin is tense.
Yeah?
When is Berlin?
That's like early. That's like
after St. Martin Carnival, I believe.
But
I just talking shit. I don't know. I don't.
Ibiza one is after St. Martin Carnival.
I know the one in like it's still cold. That's what I know. When it happens in Berlin, it's still cold.
Nah, man, that ain't true. That ain't not true. Berlin, if I'm mistaken, Berlin was when it was getting warmish. No?
But getting warm
people was people were still skinning. Well, people were skinning out and getting water and paying short.
Okay, but that's just because hoes don't get cold. You need to understand when you go that, like Cardi B once said, hoes don't get cold. I ain't gonna lie, because look at how I went to Jamrock and that fucking
question.
It was cold.
Wait, before you continue, just for clarification.
So you calling yourself a hoe?
You see, Kana, I'll take the question for
I know once I say it, but I was just playing. Okay, relax.
So if I call
I was just going to leave it float out there.
I would live in my best life at Jamrock though. I live in my best life, but the thing is, I already feel the cold coming on. Like I already feel my throat. So I was like, yo, if I go get sick anyways, might as well go exactly home. Go big or go home.
Either way, that's one I would want to see. Oh, that's one I would want to attend. Because it's short. It's supposed to be reasonably cheap. Germany right there.
Yeah. It's cheaper than Notting Hill, that's for sure.
Yo, honestly, if you do it, and again, shout out to DSL. If you go with DSL and you go with enough people and you get Airbnb and you plan early enough, it's not that bad now. Because if you just, for instance, you can go with 2 people. If you can go with 2-3 people even, you buy a bottle and just walk with down the road. You go and then you buy a bottle on the airport in Schiphol, or on the airport in Schiphol. It's cheaper than buying alcohol there on the road, which you end up doing most probably anyway, because the alcohol you get
run out.
Exactly, because the trips, the packages be like, unlimited alcohol. This is not when you pass the parades. That's not it. In 3-4 hours into it, alcohol done. They giving you Coke. They barely got water. So everybody gonna want still pack. You still got at least a good 4.5 hours to jam on the road. Doing that sober ain't fun.
Yeah.
Let's just be real with it. Unless you're a real soca junkie or you're a real party person or you're a real dancer that can do it. Me personally, I can't do it. So that's why we buy a bottle on Schiphol and everybody just split it. And once we had to rush to finish bottles the day we was leaving. And it ain't that bad. The most you can spend on is is traveling and food. Traveling could be a bitch.
How many days don't be that bad now.
The whole thing was from Thursday until Tuesday. But the last event was Monday night, but we went from Friday and then we leave Tuesday. And it really wasn't that bad. If you could go with a decent group, at least 5 plus.
Like it was a decent amount of y'all.
I know, we went with 12. We went with 12 people.
I don't know if all y'all traveled together, but just from what I was able to gather from the couple people that I know on IGs and things.
In our one house, we had 12 people. And shout out Jody for organizing all of that. Shout out everybody that was part of our trip at least, because Jesus Christ, the jokes. And we had a little situation with a house owner and all that kind of shit. But all apart from that, Notting Hill, I recommend anybody that you like soca, that's something for you, but
that just be the things to consider though. Like what you just said there on the end. When you're doing the Airbnbs, make sure you go.
If you plan it good, if you plan it from if you start looking from
understanding, could follow rules to be like, yo, this ain't our house. Try to keep.
Okay, you see that you have to know who you're inviting and them kind of ones.
Yeah.
And because the group we went, it was 12 of us, but everybody was chill, everybody was cool, nobody was nasty, nobody was breaking shit. I mean, we was all young Caribbean people. We go every day for a soca weekend. We go to get loud occasionally, but he had the neighbors that was louder than us that we was getting blamed for it. So that was a whole something too at one point. But other than that, you could plan from January.
Yeah, boy.
And still get a decent place, still close to the area. The only thing is, some of the things what I was saying is traveling might catch you a bit.
Getting from where y'all was staying to where the event.
Because for instance, one of the events on Friday was far. No, Saturday Dreamland was far. The from where we was Shepherd's Bush area, that was way more that's where the parade and most of the main stuff to go on. And that's where a lot of the DSL and a lot of people just stay. Where Dreamland was, what they call Dreamland Juve, that was an hour away drive. So God knows how that would have been with public transport.
So that was something that the transportation from where y'all was to there was set up through DSL? Or
No, that we didn't do it. We didn't do that through us. We do Uber. Since it was 12. Since it was 12 of us.
Uber, how much that cost?
But
if you split,
that's
if it's like a Uber van,
80 euros.
If you split, the thing is, it was 8 of us, so it was like 4. 8 of us. It was 12 of us, so we had 3 cars of 4. I think that trip in total was maybe like 70 pounds, or no, maybe 70 euros, something like that.
Per car, right?
Total? Yeah.
That ain't expensive.
No, per car.
Yeah, I was about to say,
and then that divided by 4. I mean, is a little expensive. Maybe.
I mean, that's around the same price if you go from here to Rotterdam.
Going from here to Central, it'll be like 20 euros. Yeah. 20 euros.
Like I paid an Uber one time to go from Rotterdam to Amsterdam. That was like 80 euros.
Like, depends when. Oh, yeah. It's not. I talking Uber. I talking Uber prices. Uber from here to the south is like 20.
That was the only thing. Actually, the transport we pay more for transport than we pay for food.
Food there ain't expensive.
Ain't like we had a car. We had like a little.
Was doing like buy food and grocery shopping and then cook in the house.
We had that for like 2. We would do that in the morning, and then at night everybody just buy their own thing. We had like a couple Jamaican places like down the road from us.
Chicken
I had oxtail 2. I had oxtail 3 days back to back, and then jerk chicken the last day. I take advantage of that. I'm sorry, and the oxtail was only like £8. Okay, that's still like 12 euros. Is it 12 euros? About 12 euros.
If you taste Bazaar or some shit, a lot of places to be like 12 euros.
And the closest thing I could get to oxtail like that is Yvette's Kitchen, and that's still like 17 something.
People were tagging me like and all this vegan movement thing that was going over there, then.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to that. I had my specific places. Once I had found that oxtail place, like that was it.
People
plantain porridge and all that kind of thing over there.
Plantain porridge?
Yeah, that was my reaction as well. Exactly how hard it was.
I never heard of
that. Was my reaction. When we had went in the morning, they didn't have it ready yet.
I mean, it made out the plantain, so I don't assume it tastes bad because you can't go too wrong with plantain. In too many ways,
I would assume so too, but I guess it depends when they do the plantain.
Yeah, but other than like the ripeness, you can't really fuck up a plantain.
People can. I've had fucked up plantains before.
That I feel like then they just bun it.
Yeah,
but
that might be it.
But even that, if the plantain like overripe and it bun, it ain't that bad. Like, let me be real.
True, but I think it wasn't overripe. I think it was the opposite. I think it was green.
Wait, that
that's how you can fuck it up.
That's how my brother bless his heart. My brother don't know how to fry a plantain. Poor thing. I see this buy once. Take a plantain, cut it up, put butter on the stove, and I was like,
okay. Because I was going to ask, how do you not know how to fry? I mean,
because he didn't fry it with oil.
That was my thing. I was like, what step can you get wrong? Just put oil and put plantain. That's it.
You are a good bit younger though, so I don't know if he level up in life. I really hope so though.
I can't laugh at nobody when they cook it skills, so I'm gonna stay quiet.
No, Jack, you don't understand. The plantain on the outside was black.
If you can't handle a plantain,
I didn't say I can't. I just say I'm not gonna laugh at nobody because
you can't enjoy plantain as much as you do and not be able to cook. Listen, I don't cook plantain that often, but I know how to throw oil in the pot.
Yeah, no,
cut the plantain.
I mean, I ain't that bad, but again, I just ain't gonna laugh at nobody culinary skills. Mine ain't no good either.
I ain't gonna lie, I love like Johnny cake, I love plantain, I love all that shit, and I can make it. Like I know how to make Johnny cake and everything. I know how to make pastichi, but I don't do it because I hate disposing of oil. Like that whole
the process is annoying.
I agree with you.
It's really annoying.
So like my neighbor used to throw the oil in the toilet. I wanted to punch that girl, but I can't punch girls.
Yo.
Everybody are we in 2019? Feminism.
Yo,
to be honest with you.
I mean,
quality and whatnot.
If they your cousin or your sister.
No, the thing is gonna fuck up like the whole building because the oil it plugs up and like every year. Like every year, like the head office would like say, let's send an email to everybody like, please don't throw oil. I was like, who the fuck be throwing oil in the toilet? And come to find out, was my Dutch neighbor, dog.
Oh, your mothers had like that pot on the stove with oil too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Like just used to stay there.
Yeah. That way
then eventually when the oil get too dirty, okay, then you throw it out and stuff in the back.
I never see where my mother put it or what she do with it. I never see it happen.
He used to go
I just put it in plastic bottles.
Why to do it?
I just put it in plastic.
You mean now or in Samantha?
No.
No, I don't cook with oil. Generally speaking, if I do,
I cook with oil like once a while. Like I don't cook with oil. Like
I just normally if I do, I just pour it down the drain. But I just like run a whole bunch of hot water and stuff.
Use soap too.
You have the soap to break it, and then you could like.
And that's pretty much what I do. Just run like pour it super slow, so it's like a whole lot of water, a little bit of oil, the kind of ratio, I guess. And then just that's kind of
okay. So we went from Notting Hill to Plantain. So just to wrap up the whole Notting Hill thing.
I mean, the people see how we get it.
Any other questions I got on it?
I mean, I think he got to the most. He enjoyed it. It was a good time for sure. I think the people definitely get that vibe.
I really want to go next year.
It was cool.
I was on Instagram like in tears. I was like, bye.
Do that to yourself.
Bye.
I know a lot of people was upset with me, but that's a business. That's not my problem.
Social media is a choice.
To me,
hey, exactly that.
It is, but it was
appreciated being able to see it.
I
wasn't there, so I appreciated.
I was only following my friends basically.
But a lot of videos I didn't get to take. A lot of videos I didn't get to take because
I felt like a whole lot of people on my timeline was there. Like a whole lot of people on my IG was. So it's like I saw quite a couple of visuals.
Before we come off this topic, shout out to all the Martinos for real because we represent.
Same thing.
Last year it wasn't as big as how it was this year, but a lot of St. Martin people was there, and we might just represent for the island, whether it's being nastiness or doing nastiness or just being wild.
I heard that there was like a bunch of like St. Martins and a bunch of Rubians too.
I didn't care about the Rubians, but
you took pictures with the Rubians, bro.
Yeah, but that's okay. That was one, and that's because I know it. But apart from that. The St. Martin crew alone, I mean, okay, cool. Within the St. Martin, there are people that are still representing the other islands where the money they father and thing from. But
I mean, like,
where St. Martin is concerned,
that whole group you was with was repping like two different things. Like
two alone, they got people repping St. Martin,
a bunch of people,
Dominican Republic, Suriname, St. Lucia, where is Sheila thing from? Some other something. I can't remember the flag as Sheila had on.
Where from?
Hungary.
Yeah.
She had a Hungary flag?
Yeah,
she had a flag.
That was a bit of a wild card, but I mean, hey, she repped her stuff too. We had Hungarians in there as well. But yeah, it was cool. Shout out to the whole crew that was there with us.
Gotta get me a flag so I can rep next year. But next year is gonna be on the 30th and the 31st. That's gonna be the main days.
It will be interesting though, like as a kind of segue that Woods had interject kind of earlier, seeing what they're gonna be like if there will be any effect due to Brexit and stuff like that.
Just for I guess traveling, like Woods had say with getting the visa and
like I was watching
that will probably happen.
I was watching a video recently about like a little documentary on Brexit, but it was like the Brexit effect on Anguilla. So they was talking to a bunch of people from Anguilla and looking at what effect can be there, and that was something that I didn't even really consider when you think about like the relationship that Anguilla have with St. Martin, and I was like very interconnected. They just jump on a ferry and there's so many people from St. Martin, like our family in Anguilla and vice versa and stuff like that, and I was like, so y'all just can't travel in these things because now, leaving the European Union, Anguilla not belonging, what gonna happen to the travel there and stuff like that? How those relations gonna be affected between
so what will happen to August Monday?
That's August Monday.
Hey, me personally, I haven't been to August Monday in almost a decade now, but I mean, for the ones, this is actually a worldwide something that could really affect St. Martin.
That's the thing. Like, I literally just did not. I was not thinking on Anguilla when I was thinking on Brexit until I watched the documentary. I was like, oh yeah, y'all a British colony thing. Like, and they'll be just talking about like a lot of trade and being able to see some of the family members, and then because a lot of people that it was interviewing in that little documentary is like they got family on St. Martin or vice versa, and thing. It's a very normal thing that a lot of St. Martin people, family from Anguilla, or they got family in Anguilla.
You
also got people that work on one island and then live on the other, and then cross over
them type of things.
And the biggest problem is like, because they're most likely what's going to happen now is that England's going to leave without a deal, so they're just at I think it's the 28th of October. Yeah. Then if they like the way it's looking, like they're not going to have a deal, and the problem with that is like all the EU nationals that live in Europe are not going to not all the people from England that live in Europe they're not going to have any protection, and vice versa for all the Europeans that live in England. So it's like it's a really big problem. It's going to be a legislative hell. Yeah, and I also lost my credit card because it was based in England. Fun fact.
Okay.
That's why you know what's messed up? I had to sign up for that same credit card, but it didn't fully go through. So maybe that's why it didn't get back.
Maybe because of that. Maybe you can't get a new one because of that whole situation.
Maybe that. That rough.
That whole Brexit situation fucked up. It been fucked up from the time they proposed it and all of that, and the reasoning behind why it happened and how it happened. And then in like the poll situation when they were doing surveys and
people
stuff like that, and find out how many exactly
people
the amount of people that had no idea what they was voting for, what the repercussions was going to be, and all of these things is like that's whole situations. And where it is now, like Woods was just saying, like, to me, it equally as messy almost. Like it ain't getting no better.
I don't think anything will. I think it's gonna take a while for them to actually come up with laws and stuff like that. Where travel and trade is concerned, I don't think anything gonna.
Ideally, in a great situation, it shouldn't change.
Me not studying political science or anything of the sort. I don't think anything gonna happen where travel is concerned right away. I think since we was basing this off of Notting Hill, I believe next year is not going to be such a big deal to go.
Okay, you have to look at it like this. England has not been making their own treaties. Is that the word I'm looking for? No,
maybe, I don't know.
No. Anyway, regarding travel, all of the legislation that they have with different countries, England has not been doing that for themselves for years. It's the European Parliament has been doing that for the European Union. So if they leave, they have no negotiations, no deals, nothing. So planes cannot go from Europe to England because they don't have any agreement with one another. Vice versa. Yeah. It's a very big problem. It's not just that simple. And to get to a deal is going to now be even harder because of how the process went. So now other countries are going to like. So, for example, the European Parliament is not just one government. It's like a bunch of countries, and everybody's going to want their own say. And the way that Europe works, everybody needs to agree for it to work. So if 90% agrees, but then France says, no, we don't want that, we want something else, nothing happens. And that's why England is fucked.
Dog, the world is fucked.
Like, I feel for my homie that live over there. I don't know too much people. I got a couple people that live over there. It's like, I wish y'all the best. That's all I could say.
That's all you can say. That's literally all you can say.
All you can say.
This whole Brexit situation. So, I mean, I don't really got much else to say on this topic. I wasn't that well prepared on it to say that for me to have like a real informed opinion and, rebuttal you on certain things. But
I found Brexit a very interesting thing because it was trending, like Europe was trending to going like that. People were talking about Brexit, the Netherlands exiting.
Yeah, but they was talking about that since there was a lot of original Brexit. Yeah,
and then when Brexit happened, everyone was like, oh shit!
There's other European countries that just got their own little issues, kind of like Spain and I forget the name of, but another country within Spain is a similar thing. Like,
oh, you mean
Catalonia? I think it's Catalonia. Yeah, I believe it's Catalonia, and it's similar thing to like at some point California was considering like leaving the United States or and. Something like that. Basically, Catalonia was doing with French because originally there's like their own country with their own language and stuff like that. They're just kind of in Spain, but they're still kind of their own unique identity type of thing. And there was a whole little protest and kind of just talks about seceding or kind of being its own country, separating from Spain. And like there's a lot of that type of talk just all over the world in different places in different ways.
You have that within like England itself
for independence and stuff. Yeah. Not a great example. People don't like being told what to do by people that they feel is not them. That is just a strong sentiment that you see throughout the world when you talk a lot of the post-colonized countries fighting for independence and stuff like that. Like with St. Maarten, that's a big reason why is these people in Holland getting to make decisions for St. Maarten, or like in the Brexit documentary I was watching, the people in Anguilla is like no Anguilla people was ever consulted to see how they feel about the Brexit vote or the negotiations or anything like that. So it's just something that Britain did. Because they feel like it, or because that with no kind of regard for other people, basically, or the other colonies that are going to also be affected by it, them type of ones.
But sorry, I meant Scotland, by the way. Because like Ireland is like half Europe and half England by itself. That's a whole other problem by those.
You know, now that I bring up these concerns, I may have to focus, a little bit more on it to see how my travel is going to have to be affected next year. So maybe I might pay a little more attention to this. Yeah.
I mean, it's a very important thing. It's important in the sense of like it's going to bring more opportunities for certain countries. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really sad.
Yeah, it's going to bring a lot of opportunities for certain countries, especially Netherlands, because a lot of main branches of companies that want to stay within Europe are going to come to the Netherlands.
Yeah, and from what, like, me and the wife, he was talking about that, and she was telling me, like, it's already happening with a decent amount of them, like, before the Brexit deal even happening, a couple of them already done move here, and just, like, this becoming the new hub for English stuff post-Brexit.
Because it's just, like, the Dutch speak English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The level of Dutch and the level of English in this country is like pretty, at least in Amsterdam and stuff like that. You was a great example of being able to survive here without, you don't need the language to survive, and you could do the shit pretty fine, pretty well.
Yep. I mean, it's a bitch at times, but pretty much.
Getting assistance with the mail and them ones.
Yo, that was tense the first 2 years, but you know me unnecessary fines I get just because I couldn't read what was going on.
But you see, first of all, it's your own fault because you don't be ignoring your fucking mail.
No, then I used to be on my mail, but the thing is, I used to see it, be like, crap, alright, I can't read this, I gotta take a picture, send it to my sister. Let me, I'm gonna do something else, and then I'll take it later. Later, this never happened, and then what unnecessary.
I mean, honestly, I can read the language, and even I sometimes get like mystery fines. It's like, what?
Yeah,
that's just the Netherlands. They come up with mystery fines.
You ever like go?
But last thing Dean just comes like, hey, yo, you remember this?
Yo, as soon as you feel a little comfortable, like, yeah, but I can save a little bit now, and then whole lot fuck.
Just when you thought you got away.
The waterbelasting?
Oh yeah, that had come out to nowhere.
No. That same bill you get, I say fuck that. I went online and I asked for kwijtschelding.
Yeah, you can get kwijtschelding for that.
Yeah, but you see the thing is,
it's a bitch to
why I was confused was, let me explain. So the first time I get a bill was like beginning of this year, and I had paid because it was like 22 euros, and I had just come back from vacation, and I was checking like, I don't want like leave this here and then get like a boot because I paid late, so I didn't do the kwijtschelding in time because I had like 1 day to pay it. So I was like, let me just pay it. It's 22 euros. We gonna survive.
Just 22 euros.
We was gonna survive, Okay, come back. I don't know when it was, but I checked my mail and I get a bill for like 200 euros. They tell me I ain't paid a belasting for this year, so that's why I get like 200. I said, but what the fuck? I was like, first of all, I paid it 6 months ago. What the fuck? And then I was like, bye. And I said, nah, let me ask for a kwijtschelding.
And then it is good.
I vraag it aan. They never tell me nothing about it, Nairo.
That was good.
They send me an email saying that they're going to look into my case and then they're going to let me know, but don't pay it. Just wait until you hear back from them. Never hear back from them.
No, but they take their sweet ass time.
That good. Let them take the time.
No, but I just saying like don't get too comfortable. That's all I'm trying to say.
That's one thing holiday teach you, boy. Don't get too comfortable.
I mean, look. They could try and take it off, but if it ain't there also.
Like, I've been doing my winds belasting for like 2 years now, and I thought I was doing it okay. And then last month, I saw the belasting dienst thing come in.
I hate getting them things.
I was like, let me see what's going on here. Open it up.
You thought what you was doing? What you thought you was doing?
I thought he was on top of his taxes.
Oh, okay.
Apparently he wasn't.
I mean, I wasn't Wesley Snipes in it. I was paying. I just
but in
did
Holland,
miscalculation.
In Holland, everything will come off automatic, no?
It depends what you're
doing.
For the
most part, you just be some of it they gotta kind of check over. But like usually every time I do my taxes,
if you're registered in the Kamer van Koophandel, like if you're working independently.
Oh, then you gotta do. Okay.
Then it's a little more complicated. Yeah.
Shit.
I mean, I ain't making that much, but
I don't have to keep that in mind, man. Start. Yeah. All right, next one.
On to another keeping in the same vein of controversial topics. How do y'all feel about this NFL Jay-Z partnership?
No, I want to hear are you two specifically more about it. I don't necessarily know how things proceed, and I know you really don't give a shit.
Like you're just making assumptions about my life. Like, wow, what happened to mind your business? You're just making these assumptions. Like, you know me like that.
Like we were saying, King. How you feel about it?
Let me start. Like when I read it, I got angry in the beginning, and I don't have no reason. Like I have a read. Like I understand why I was angry. Because like everybody was on that fuck the NFL boycott movement, you know. And then I felt like, especially knowing Jay-Z's background and what he does for the community, like you don't hear about it, but he does a lot, especially pro-black movements, stuff like that. So when I read that, I got angry in the beginning, but then I heard like multiple sides to the story, and that made me think a little bit differently. I'm still not 100% okay with it, just because of the people he's associating himself with this deal, knowing what they say and knowing what they did and still do. And this reminds me of the whole Kanye West and Trump situation. If you understand what I mean with that, that you have a white man using a black man to make them look better for whatever shit they do later, and then he could point out to, but hey, I have a black friend. So that's my take on it. But at the same time, now I'm just waiting to see what Jay-Z does and what comes out of it before I can...
Like fucking exactly. Yeah. Anyway,
but
let me stop.
I mean, I understand why some people are angry, because I also got angry when I read the article, because like, you're going in the belly of the beast. And they take advantage of black people, that's a fact.
The biggest thing...
What? The NFL takes advantage of black people.
Oh, okay.
To me, the biggest thing regarding this whole NFL deal is the hypocrisy in it. And it's a weird thing to even really say that, because there's been a whole lot coming out regarding some of that, to say like, because there was a lot of speculation. Jay was letting this person know, okay, don't perform in the Super Bowl. Like from Rihanna got the thing like for 4 years or something like that. Rihanna was in talks, and it was like a steady kind of advice from Jay to be like, yo, don't do the Super Bowl performance and thing like that. There was the supposedly Travis Scott got the call, then later it turns out, okay, Jay wasn't telling him not to do that, or his issue wasn't about him performing at the Super Bowl. It was, I don't think he should be second fiddle to Maroon 5. And that was the reason he didn't say, okay, don't do it. I just don't feel like you dropped Sicko Mode, which was like one of the biggest songs last year. I think you should be like the headliner basically. Okay. And then there was a similar thing with JD, because JD was working on some project, and then it turned out that in an interview that initially Brian Michael Cox, one of JD close associates, was saying how, yes, indeed, it is that Jay called JD to let him know don't perform at the Super Bowl. Then JD did an interview saying that was not the case. Jay never called me and told me not to do the Super Bowl and nothing like that. So it's like, some of the hypocrisy is like kind of mitigated, but then it's like on Jay itself, you making songs saying you don't need them, they need you. Fuck the NFL. You stand with Cap, performing with Kaepernick jersey, and then in this press conference, at least the first clips that came out of the press conference, that was another thing that just caused more controversy.
Just looked wrong,
because it was just like the first 5-minute clip or something where he's saying, yo, this was never about a job. It was like kneeling, we passed that, now it's on to actionable items and whatever. And from there, I understand what Jay was saying, but it's one of those things that it just sounds bad. Like, it sounds cold in a way. It's like, okay, you were supporting him, and now it's all like, it's never about Cap getting a job. But what he was saying has validity, has legitimacy when he's saying, okay, the kneeling is about bringing awareness. Everybody knows what it's about now. There's been controversy and the talk going on for like a year, 2 years, however long it's been now. Everybody know police brutality is a problem. Let's do something about it. The thing is, to me, this just sounds like the NBA Cares type of thing that the NBA has, which was like their social program where when you're watching the games and stuff, you'll see commercials of NBA players going to like the Make-A-Wish, going to see kids in sick hospitals and shit like that.
High schools and painting parks.
And from watching like the full, or I don't know if that was the full, but the longer footage, the 46 minutes that they put out from the press conference where they actually like, to me, they should put that shit out from the jump, and not that like the 5-minute clip that had everybody upset up at Jay in the first place. Just put out the full 46 minutes. Cause they actually address a lot of things people was busy arguing and
because
saying
they edit Charlemagne parts as well.
Like they ain't had none of that in the first 5-minute clip. They ain't had Charlemagne questions, and I didn't even know he was in the room in the first 5-minute thing until they put out the full footage. So, but in a nutshell, I don't know. I can't say I'm happy or excited about this, because to me it doesn't seem, because in that same press conference he was saying like, yo, this is a program that was started. The Inspire Change thing was something that the NFL started like a year or two ago, and it's just that now they're taking in kind of advice from Jay and being like, okay, no, these are other things that y'all should pay attention to, or maybe y'all should be interested in this cause or that kind of thing. Just they was already setting up a kind of give back, a charity foundation type of program, and now it's just, okay, they're getting a little bit more direction from Jay to be like, okay, these are black causes that might be important that we should talk about, whether it's prison reform or police brutality or any of these type of things. So to me, it just sounds like it's an advertising campaign. But like you also said, it's one of those things where it's super early, we don't know what the fuck really it is. I'm just saying that that's what it seems like to me. It's primarily an advertising campaign type of thing that we're going to be doing. Creating content was what he keep like harping on or coming back to. We creating content to inspire change. What that looks like concretely or in the actual like real thing, a video talking about police reform that can come on in the commercials of NFL game. I don't know how actionable of an item that is. It's protest in a different form, yeah, but I don't know how much change and stuff it can bring along. But like Woods was saying as well, Jay has been somebody who hasn't established a pretty good track record in terms of doing well for the community, so you want to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, but you can't help but change that it's not a good look in my opinion. It looks very hypocritical. It looks hypocritical. It looks like you said, another example of, let's get this black leader to pacify the rest of the black people. If we get Jay-Z on board, the rest of the black people can follow as well, because he's like the unofficial leader or whatever. All right, that's kind of how I look at it.
How and why you think Rashid and Kalissa? If I have any opinions on it, or was I right with my initial statement?
You was right with your initial statement. I agree with the sentiment of just waiting and see what happens. Because at this point, I understand people outraged and whatnot, but I don't know where this is going to lead, whether or not it's going to help the situation or not. So for me, it's just like wait and see where this goes. Although I don't deny the optics of it looking hypocritical and such. Yeah, that's about it for me.
What? Okay, but you see, okay, so now I understand where King was saying, where King was coming from, because to a certain extent, I think, and I've said it on this podcast before, I'm not necessarily a Jay-Z fan.
Yes.
Yeah, it's known.
But that is not, my personal opinion on him does not take away the fact that he has done a lot for the community and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So now, what I didn't know was how much he was going against the NFL. I know he had the whole stand with Cap campaign and stuff like that. I didn't know he had songs going on about against the NFL and all that. So with that concern, I can understand what King was saying, the hypocrisy of it. So I understand the doubt. What I don't understand is the outrage. Why people so outraged about it? If the NFL
about something they don't know.
If the NFL, not only that, nobody really knew the deal. Because the whole thing was like, oh yeah, Jay-Z gonna be a part owner, this and this and that. No,
which he also never said.
He did not say
he's
that.
going. He's going to be part of the what specific the content.
The Super Bowl. He's curating the Super Bowl as well as this Inspire Change thing. Okay. That's one of the main things that we know.
And then the NFL is supposed to be giving somewhere of more than 100+ million to certain foundations and stuff like that. And Jay-Z is supposed to oversee which foundations get which money and how much and all that. If everybody always complaining about how the NFL is this, the NFL is that, the NFL is white, they need more black people, this and that, other than they're just using the players and all that, you finally get a black man in power who has shown he has a track record of helping the community, both in and outside of America. Isn't this finally, instead of looking at it, oh yeah, is this the white man using the black man to enslave all, or not enslave? That's a bit.
Boy, that's
a bit extreme. But to control or to help control the other masses or the other ones that follow him, this and this, because nobody can say that Jay-Z ain't a leader.
Mm-hmm.
Why look at it that way? But why not also look at the fact that, all right, cool, finally somebody, one of us in there, or well, one of us, one of them, because I have nothing to do with football or America or nothing to do with Jay-Z.
To me, the reason
it's the, you know,
I feel that's just like the temperature of social media. Can you go first?
To me, the reason with that is there's precedent in some ways about this type of move in particular that kind of leave a bad taste in people, because Jay was also involved with the Brooklyn Nets deal, and that was something that a lot of people kind of criticize him for, in a sense that the Brooklyn Nets deal was one of those things that you bring on the blackface to kind of make people okay with the gentrification that also was part of building the arena and everything that had to do with the Brooklyn Nets becoming a team. It was one of those things where, like, you had Jay-Z to kind of pacify, because there was a lot of people that was protesting and stuff against the Brooklyn Nets because of some of the gentrification and moving people that lived there out and all of that. And it was a bad look with the Brooklyn Nets deal, like, just Jay himself kind of backed away from it after a while because he realized that, it was some other things that was going on with the situation that I wasn't really aware of initially, and it was like, that just wasn't the best situation for me to be in. And then looking at this next move,
it feels very similar.
Exactly.
Okay,
like,
cool.
That's
Okay,
where certain people kind of skeptical.
What cost? Like, you're doing this, but what is because they have their motives. Like the NFL is. But evil.
I agree with the point that you're making. I understand what you're saying, but it's a valid one. To me, the only other thing that could have maybe been a little different is be like, okay, cool. I get that you're trying to change, you're trying to do something, but to me, you could also go a different and be like Ice Cube and be like, okay, cool. You know what? Fuck the NFL, let them do their thing, because that seemed like the vibe that he was on, was like, you don't need them type of thing. Those are just Jay-Z's words himself. So it's like
there I understand. I see where you come from, but
start your own league. Be Ice Cube. Do the big tree or something to create a flag football team, a flag football league or something.
But maybe that's not necessarily his role. Maybe he don't know enough about that to do the. Okay, this is my view on it then, personally. Divide and conquer. Cool. You want what I mean by that is, okay, cool. Jay-Z going in and trying to get that route. We have to wait and see. He could either fuck it up and be all for himself and do what the white people want, or he could open doors for other black people and have the NFL to be a bigger something. And if it's going the positive direction, then that's just another field for black people to enter in. And then from there you could go, all right, cool. Maybe from there somebody else make their own NFL field just for black people, or just for minorities, or just for colored people, or something like that. It don't necessarily, all the black agenda don't just have to be in one field. If I understand where we're coming from,
like, we waiting and see how it's going on, but it's just like we very skeptical.
Okay, I understand the skepticism now, because I didn't know all the information. Or you just give me that.
One thing I will say,
the outrage I still don't understand.
One thing I will say about the outrage in particular, though, that also why I feel like is unjustified, is there's a lot of outrage at Jay-Z, but to this day, we still don't know what the fuck is in that deal that Kaepernick, the settlement that Kaepernick accepted. We still have no idea. For all we know,
and this
him
man
not getting a job is part of the settlement. He probably
this man not even talking.
Exactly.
Everybody like, I stand for Cap. I stand for Cap. How you gonna stand for somebody that's still sitting on? That's still kneeling as a matter of fact.
All I heard from Kaepernick is from Nessa majority of the time. His woman speaks more than him, and I understand. All of that's probably part of the settlement, because we know there was an NDA involved.
There's NDA. He cannot talk about it. Yes, he cannot talk about it.
But it's like, why we upset about Jay-Z when it's like the person who supposedly
we can't switch it like that, because don't forget that before the settlement even came, this man wasn't working.
But if you upset, if you upset with Jay,
who has the power? Who has the power in the end of the day in terms of the settlement? Was it Kaepernick or the NFL? Who had more power?
But wait. The whole thing with Kaepernick is
we can't throw the man like that, just like that.
How this man is still raking in millions from
but he was working, and then they just cut him off. Like,
the settlement was about the blackballing. The settlement was specifically about the fact that there was a concerted effort by the NFL owners and stuff like that to keep Cap out of the league. That's what the settlement was about. I'm not saying he's wrong for accepting the settlement. To me, the funny part is, you can't be that critical of Jay, and it's supposedly Jay and Kaepernick talk. According to Nessa, it wasn't about the deal. It seems as though Kaepernick didn't know that the deal was going on, but Jay and Kaepernick talk. We don't know. I don't know then if part of this deal, the settlement that Kaepernick accepted about this blackballing thing, was that you can't speak about the fact that, well, we're not giving you a job still, like, or. I don't know. The point is, we don't know what the fuck.
We know there's an NDA. That's for sure. And because he's not talking about it,
it just allows people to speculate and do all kind of nonsense. And I feel like
narratives.
I don't feel like Jay should receive the same amount of criticism when it's like I ain't see nobody criticizing Kaepernick for that, because it's like in certain ways. Yes, I understand you need your money. You have not been able to. Your livelihood was taken away from you. You get this settlement so that you could stay afloat and do different things like that. I understand that, but it's still
the bigger cause.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's like, okay, why we out here fighting if you kind of potentially agreed and accepted money and gone quiet?
This man was already protesting. He's still doing things in the background. I don't think he's not just talking about it. At the same time, this man did what he did, and a lot of his own teammates that supposedly were supporting him when push came to shove did not. And look. We all have our own livelihoods. Just imagine if you studied for something for your whole life, and then all of a sudden you can't, like NFL has they have a control in the sense that if that was your livelihood, you can't go for like Hayden Ellis, you can't go from Ajax and then say, well, fuck it, I'm gonna go to another country and figure it out there. No,
I mean, you could. It won't be the same level as what the NFL is, but. That's what the fuck the ball people did when it's like, okay, I can't do the NCAA. Let me go play in Lithuania and play basketball over there and get known and stay playing with professionals.
NFL is
I understand.
Big only in the US. You have NFL. You have American football in Europe, but it's you could rather play rugby.
The level will be lower, but that don't mean there's not professional ways that you can play professionally in other countries. It's not to say that the sport just completely doesn't exist in other places. I understand that he doesn't want to do that. This is his home. It's like the sport that I get why he wouldn't want to consider those options, but at a certain point, it becomes like, yo, these people don't want you. What are you going to do? Stay trying to get into the league where they've made it really, really clear. There was proof and evidence. A settlement came out of it that there was colluding and there was a concerted effort to keep you out of there.
So that's why I don't want to
wanted. They make it clear to you. They don't want you here.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to throw Kaepernick into, I can't criticize the man for the decision that he made concerning his livelihood. I don't want to do that.
That's why I understand. I say, you haven't been working for 2-3 years or however long it was. I understand that over all of that period, that's money lost. Mm-hmm. Get your settlement, get some amount of millions, but
that's different. I
don't agree with the NDA part of it. That's like the movement kind of stopped, or is like the main person that was a catalyst of it. Not to say the movement was about Kaepernick specifically, it was about police brutality and all of that, but it just seems a little weird when the person who was a catalyst of all of it can't even speak. It's like he's now been muzzled by the same people he was kind of protesting against. It's like,
and those same people Jay-Z went in bed with.
Yeah, the whole situation just is not a good look, basically.
And I understand the skepticism. I just don't understand the outrage. For me, it's just like, yo, let me wait and see. Give it a year.
That's the logical part of it.
See what a man do and what all work he put in, and then from there, everybody could crucify you, Scott.
And we know nowadays outrage gonna always be there, no matter what you do. You know?
We all
like
know,
this Popeye's chicken thing.
I know. I ain't gonna
chicken sandwiches causing beef out there. Like.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I don't want to hear that. That's why I moved from there. That happened to me a lot. But I ain't gonna lie. I would want to taste it. Like I like Popeyes. Like I was saying before we started recording, all I need is Popeyes and IHOP and I good.
Okay, this is gonna sound weird, right? But give me a moment to speak before you
crucify you.
Crucify me.
All right.
You know what chicken I want to taste? The vegan chicken from KFC.
Yeah, I saw it. I think
that shit sold out in 6 hours.
About that. I think it was like the green bucket thing.
Yeah, and they sold more chicken. Like it sold out, and they sold in 6 hours. They sold the amount of chicken they would sell in a week.
What is their chicken based on? Is it soy?
Soy. Mostly soy. I didn't check to see what it is.
Why all you want to eat chicken so bad? Just eat chicken then.
No, but you don't understand. Look, a lot of people that go like I don't like that sentiment. A lot of people that go vegan, it's not like they hate chicken. It's just the
ethical choices.
Yeah, and whatnot. But they still like to eat chicken.
No, if you like to eat chicken, you would have killed the fucking thing. You leave the thing dead.
Biggs, I
It's a
killed chicken.
sacrifice.
Remember this one of my reasons for going vegan? Remember that story?
But it could be also that, like, for example, like your body don't like chicken don't sit well in your body, but you enjoy the texture of it.
Yeah,
so,
there's
like,
a lot of reasons.
Maybe
If you want to
it's
eat
like
bush, eat bush.
It's sad there's a lot of
Play with
people,
nature.
a lot of, not controversy, but like, regarding like the Impossible Burger, that it's not really as good as it's supposed to, like not in flavor or none, but just a lot of these meat
not healthy.
substitutes. Yeah.
No, but that's
A lot of these meat substitutes and things like that. Some of the other stuff that they put in to get them
Yo,
to be
yeah.
kind of really
Everything will
meat-like.
kill you.
like it's
Okay, everything
like-
going to kill you.
if you
Yeah,
want
the
if you
world
want to be
ended
vegan and
anyways.
healthy, you gotta eat whole food, plant-based foods.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. Like sometimes, like you can't eat a burger every day, and that's the same thing. Like things that are processed foods, it's more
To me,
of a
that's
it's more
the main
of a
problem.
luxury.
That's the main problem in general to me. Like if you want to like boil it down and get to like, okay, what do you eat that is good for you?
Unless you growing
Eat,
that,
eat some shit that come out of the ground.
Yes.
Basically,
unless you
like,
whole
growing
food,
it,
plant-based,
it'll kill
that's
you.
healthy.
raw food, not processed, nothing that comes with a label, that comes in a package, in a container, something
Yeah.
that like, if you can see that, okay, this
Yep.
is the way that nature kind of presented it to you, and it's not been a whole bunch of dyes or different kind of things to help change the texture and whatever else and all of these
So we
things.
just basically choosing how fast we dying. Because either climate change will kill us. First.
I mean, climate change ain't gonna kill us. It's
Yeah, it
gonna
might.
kill.
It might.
You never
I
know,
mean,
yeah.
with some of the weather that's been going on in
I
certain
mean,
places,
You never know, you know.
It's we are not going to. We're going to feel the effects.
You're gonna catch a heat stroke, you're gonna drown, like-
this summer and hot and shit.
No. But I
Almost
mean,
take
like
me
we
out.
feeling the
That's what I'm
effects,
saying.
but we ain't like
we probably
Like-
our generation
catch you.
ain't gonna feel the biggest effects of it. We feeling the changes,
But if you feel the
our
effects,
children generation, they gonna feel the real brunt of climate change.
yeah, if we even make it to make children.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's true though.
Hey,
If it
but
gets
at
too
least-
hot, your seeds them ain't gonna make it.
At least I ain't got pay off my student loans though.
Start walking
all-
naked. This
there's
fucking
all
G shit
kind of
ain't gonna
stuff.
work no
Everybody
more.
gotta start drinking
Listen,
CMOS.
are you looking at the negatives, right? At least I ain't got pay off my student loans. Positive, civil.
But those
silver
things ain't the
lining.
biggest.
But I mean,
deal.
like, if okay, not fun fact, but just heads
A lot
up
of
to
people
everybody
also
that
pay
wants to
about
buy a
people
house
lose a
right
lot.
now. Just wait, the recession coming, so that's another thing.
Wait it out.
Next year gonna be a recession for sure, or even this year.
Oh, okay.
So if you're planning on buying a house, just wait. Planning on moving out, just wait a bit.
You see,
Gonna be cheaper.
my other thought with that is like, you buy this house place, like you buy this house in a certain place, and then what happens if that entire like climate changes in a different sense? Like, cause another thing, this kind of getting into some other conspiracy thing, so I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but there's a whole other thing
King,
that scientists
talking
been
about the conspiracy theory.
Science has been
Shocking.
predicting that the pole's supposed to shift at some point, like we way overdue beyond,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
every certain amount of years, every
I heard this
1,000
before,
years
too.
or whatever, the poles shift and this changes climate. And I was just wondering if climate change, some of the climate change that we're talking about, has anything to do with the poles potentially shifting or anything like that, that might have it so that everything that's now in the Caribbean, the tropics around the equator and shit like that, for all we know, that gonna be the new Arctic and shit like that, and places like Antarctica and Alaska, they're gonna be the tropics and things. Like, what happens if you buy a place? I just mean, like,
And it freezes
in Miami, and then
Why,
becomes
you best
First
start
of all,
watching the
we
news
gonna have
and
like
know
the
when to sell.
Netherlands start getting hurricanes, and then the Caribbean and shit like that
I'll
just
tell
chilling.
you right now, my island
Like-
gone. We surviving it.
But,
If the
Aruba can't
shit,
even survive a little rain.
but that's what I'm saying. If the things
gone.
change, if the climate change out and the way it is now just redistribute, we wouldn't be
And
getting
they'll get a
hurricanes no
hurricane?
more. Like us in the
you
Antilles
get
and whatnot.
blizzards
Does the Netherlands get blizzards?
sometimes.
Higher up.
Have you not like,
No.
bro? Where were you last year? There was a blizzard,
When?
not a big one, but it was a blizzard, a snowstorm. It's not a blizzard technically, but it's a
so
you listening to yourself?
It was
nobody had to say nothing. Nobody had to say nothing. He went on his own trip.
You have storms, then the storm becomes a hurricane, right?
You
like
just you have a point while making a point.
I mean, it's not a full blown blizzard, but it's a baby blizzard.
So it wasn't a blizzard. No, it just wasn't a
blizzard. Like a storm becomes a hurricane. That's what I'm saying. You feel me?
Okay, but if you have a storm, you won't go say, "Oh, a hurricane passed through here now."
A potential hurricane.
Okay, it wasn't a blizzard. Bye. Thanks for the salt, man.
Okay.
I may need to take a couple more shots.
Yeah, I think we could wrap up this episode.
Yeah, I think it's about time. Wow. We are hour and 4 minutes in, I don't know how already.
I feel like you have passed pretty quick.
No,
I was half in, half out for a while.
What else you want to talk about?
Oh, nothing. But I feel like a bash real quick, you know, like.
It's the first episode. I mean,
shot,
true.
You know?
But although,
the camera day?
honestly,
okay.
Honestly,
that was a sign.
Yeah, so I think we should start wrapping up soon. The camera day.
Honestly, usually an hour goes by quite quick on the podcast. Anyway.
So, we got any last words and stuff before we sign out? Any plugs and whatnot? Let's go to that. Or
I ain't got shit to promote for the next 3 weeks.
Okay.
Follow me on the IG, please. I lost a lot of followers because I got hacked.
Oh, that's rough.
When you get hacked,
and people even got like weird messages. Sorry for that. Some people don't even know that they were deleted. So I got like some messages from people be like, "Woods, what I do to you? You ain't do nothing."
Hey, social media make people a little sensitive. You know?
Yeah. But yeah, so I got hacked. So follow the boy at Woods the Chosen on the IGs, on the Facebooks, on the Snapchats. I'm back on Snapchat.
Okay.
So
don't follow me on IG because I ain't doing shit for the next 3 weeks.
Well, yeah. Kind of where I left it off plugs wise. I remember before we went on a break, I was saying I can Trap From a Place and Pogo Stick. Those were 2 songs that coming out. But you know, during the break and stuff, I kind of reevaluated. I've been working on a lot of music while we was off as well. That was one thing that kind of helped it last a little longer. So a project is coming at some point. I kind of decided, let me not just drop 2 songs, let me just drop a full project. I don't have a date or nothing like that yet, but there is artwork that's kind of done. That was also done during the break. So a project is coming soon. Just be on the lookout for that. I don't want to give out the name. It's still kind of tinkering and toying with a couple names in my head, so I don't want to drop it officially yet.
Oh. No,
but that's all I got. What you got?
No, I like Backyard next week Friday. So when this gonna come out Wednesday. So the Friday that you are gonna be listening to this, Amsterdam Melkweg Let's Play gonna have Backyard. It's going to be a little mini dancehall, hip hop, R&B, a little bit of soca here and there, more or less a Martin party. Okay, I lied, man. That ain't true. Cause a lot of other people will be there now too. Yeah. So yeah, if I want come true, something to do on a Friday. So yeah,
it's confusing with the 2 backyards.
Yeah,
this is Backyard from Encore, not Backyard from Backyard. This is Encore presents Backyard.
Jamrock don't want to let on. I
mean, isn't Jamrock just a backyard by itself?
Jamrock is just, as far as I know, Jamrock is just Jamrock.
Okay, cool. Well, now that all the plugs are out the way, unless Kalissa and Rashid got anything that they feel needs to be added.
Rashid, you want to talk about One Piece?
I'ma see y'all.
I think that's a no.
Yeah, already done, people. Having said all of that, I think it's about time for us to leave, y'all. So we'll see you people the next time we link up.
Bless.
Peace.